And it was so great. Because I don't know how many internet memes have happened since this moment. The best one, obviously, is the one every guy now puts out there. See,
That's right.
I'm training hard to be like Thor. Have the body like Thor. Look at this.
Melted ice cream.
Yes. I'm training hard for 10 years for this.
All the gravity just hit. And it's like...
Talk about a guy who retired.
Oh, yeah, he did.
He stopped training for sure. All right?
It was like the dude from The Big Lebowski.
So we get to see Thor having, say, a few too many beers. I mean, the guy drinks a keg like it's nothing. Come on, he's the God of Thunder. And then who's he hanging out with we see hanging out with?
Yes,
Geo,
Meek and Korg.
Nice. It was great seeing everybody all back together and just Thor having a good time. But then that was great how Banner's trying to recruit it. Even Rocket's like, oh man. Rocket was like, what's happening to you kind of thing. And then, Banner, and that's a funny thing. Thor's looking at Hulk, yet it's Banner, so he's kind of tripping a little bit. Maybe he was drunk at the time too. You never know. And he's like, "What? Hey, you're Hulk, yet you're talking like Banner type of thing." That must have freaked him out a little bit, know. But they finally convinced him, and he even said it. Look, we understand if you're scared, but they got him. They got him to come along with them, but took him. Oh. I love it. He goes, well, we got beer in the ship. That was great. That's what got him there. So what Joss was mentioning earlier when they were breaking down all the stones, here comes Thor trying to explain the Soul Stone, and he's going like way off track, talking about Jane Foster and all this and that. And they're like, okay, sit down. It's okay. We'll figure this out later.
But he knew about the Soul Stone?
That was the...
okay.
Or was it the Power Stone?
I thought it was the Power Stone.
Was it the Power Stone in that one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, again, somebody's typing in, you're wrong. It's the... Well, one of the stones. And he's explaining the whole story about how Jane, he brought her back. That was great. That was great.
Well, I like the cameos.
Exactly.
There
now,
were little cameos.
We'll get to that when we're now talking about what... So, basically, the mission is, from this whole discussion about the time travel, is that they need to go back to where they could get the stones, and it won't affect the line. Okay, so what's great about this is, again, it's Marvel's giving you 10 years back again, all in one shot, and it was great seeing. So
yeah, I loved it, man.
So we get to see the Avengers come back, and this is great. We get to see Loki, and this is an interesting part here. So that scene was pretty cool because the fact that Stark is there, they're there, and it's like, they're kind of ripping Cap a little bit, making jokes about him and everything. But yeah, and then they end up having to, okay, we got to get the Tesseract. We got to get this thing.
Oh, well, it didn't go as planned.
Of course not.
Of course. I mean, if it did, then this would be a clean-cut movie, but it wasn't.
Exactly. So, like Joss mentioned, this is where this movie really gets the feels going, because it's like you said, it's bring back everybody that you've seen.
Yeah.
So we get to see Crossbones, we get to see Agent Stillwell. Now that was probably the best thing, again, we're cutting through it all, but it was probably the funniest and most enjoyable thing I saw when Cap's in the elevator.
Oh,
Stillwell, Crossbones, the whole crew. Didn't it remind you of a certain scene in a certain Captain America movie? Like, we're going to go off on it.
Right.
He just does the whisper. He does the whisper.
Remember what he said?
They green light. They went, all right, yeah.
Hail Hydra.
That was so funny. And they were like,
oh.
Is he
on our team then? So they're like, oh, okay, yeah, give it to him then, I guess, which is great. But then Robert Redford.
Oh, I know.
Shows up. Alexander Pierce is here. I go, wow, they got Redford now. I love the cameo. He comes in and they do the whole bit there. Now, what's interesting about that scene, Redford comes in, they're trying to do the timing of getting them out, but then somehow the Tesseract gets out of the case.
Yeah.
So Loki happens to see that. Nobody's guarding him. He picks it up. He's out. So with that being said, we can only anticipate this Tesseract being used for the Loki show that's going
right.
So with that on the side. But something else about the scene that was really cool, Cap fighting himself.
That's what I wanted to talk about. That was like so cool. Like, do you have any thoughts about Cap versus Cap?
I thought, it was really good. And what cracked me up was when he had to distract him. He goes, Bucky's still alive. He goes, what?
That's great. And I love the fact when he goes, I could do this all day. He goes, I know. That was great.
No, but it was so cool. And it's like, now that's American
Yes,
Dash.
that's
right
American
there.
Dash. That was great. That was awesome.
But it was cool to watch, like cat versus cat. That was a cool scene.
That was cool. I love
thought
to
it was
see.
great for the fans because we love that
Exactly.
stuff.
It's kind of you're reliving it. And then the next journey I believe we see then would be we got Rocket and Thor going up to Asgard. And it's the day his mother was killed. And that was pretty hard for him because obviously it's his mom getting killed and he's obviously out of shape. He's kind of lost his touch. He's kind of
he lost his mojo.
That's the best way to sum it up. Exactly. Thank you, Joss. He's lost his mojo. It took Rocket slapping him around, which is kind of funny. Seeing Rocket just slap him around a little bit like, hey, come on, we got to do this. And so...
That was actually a really good scene.
It was. It was
Rocket
good.
Opening up, like, that's my family. You think you're the only one that you think you're the only one that lost everything. Like, I lost everything.
Yeah. See, that was great.
And that was actually cool to hear from him because, all those people, in his ship, he's captain.
Yeah, exactly. See, so that was great.
Yeah.
How Rocket pretty much said, "Hey, you act like you lost people? Hello, my whole family's gone." See, so that was great. That was awesome how he did that.
And then when his mom.
And then so when his mom shows up, it's awesome how she read right through him. Obviously, I love how he goes, "All right, gang." How did he explain it? I'm just funny how he's trying to explain.
But did the mom know that he was from the future?
Yeah,
she's like, "I'm a witch. I already know."
Yeah,
salad, you fat bastard.
Pretty much, and that was great. How
go vegan.
right.
And wasn't it cool how when the scene began, they're sneaking around the jail, and Loki's like sitting there, but he doesn't see him, but they're all sneaking around. You see Rocket and 2019 Thor sneaking around, and that was great how it took his mother to kind of slap some sense into him.
Oh yeah.
And before they leave, so then here we go. We have Rocket. He goes, okay, you got to get it from Jane. Jane has it in her system. So now, I never thought we would ever see Natalie Portman in a Marvel movie ever again because of how she left Dark Water. She wasn't too thrilled about any of that.
Yeah.
The way I figure, and somebody will say it, I think when we did see Jane Foster, it was probably a scene.
It was a recycled scene.
It was a recycled scene.
Oh yeah.
Of her getting up.
She was at the premiere, Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
But she wasn't in that.
Yeah.
Anything. It's just the same scene.
It was the same scene, and they just CGI'd Rocket in there. Or they just had Rocket.
Green screen. It was a green screen.
What do you mean Rocket's not a real character?
I know.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. The Carfax guy, kind of has.
It's a green screen.
The Carfax guy wants his. Anyway, So obviously when I saw that scene, I go, "Whoa, Natalie Portman!" But then, I figured it out real quick. It's probably just an edited scene or something like that. But what's cool about this scene, though, they're about to leave. Thor is able to summon his hammer.
Oh, that was cool.
That was cool.
Which was awesome because we all know in Ragnarok, that hammer was destroyed with nothing. And of course, by him calling up this hammer, it becomes a big key later on in this movie. But it's great that he was able to get his hammer back.
Oh, because he heard what he said. Oh, I'm still worthy.
Like, I'm
exactly.
Still worthy. That was cool.
That kind of built up his confidence too.
Yes.
When he got the hammer back. So with that being said, here we go. What's the next venture that we're going to then?
Robert Downey Jr., right? Isn't that the next one?
Oh, I thought it was, we're going to get the Soul Stone now.
Oh, you want to go there?
Or no, before we go to the Soul Stone, it's War Machine and Nebula. They gotta beat Star-Lord to get that stone.
No, I thought that was pretty funny. Go ahead.
I would say I love it because, Guardians, it's just a funny ass movie.
Yeah.
So when they reenacted Quill's scene where he's singing,
dancing around,
and you see him just like with no music, he's all, "Gotta get you love." You're like, this guy's an idiot. You're like,
I know, because
man.
you don't hear it because when we saw it in the movie, it went with the music. But when they cut the music, and you just hear them. Yeah, you're right. That was awesome. Totally awesome. So now this is a big scene because obviously something happened. They obviously get the stone before Quill gets it, and then War Machine takes off, but before Nebula could take off too, something happens to
Yep,
her.
she got captured.
And why was that?
Well, remember, it was like her memory synced
Yeah.
with the
Oh
2014
yeah,
Nebula.
yeah.
So Thanos saw.
Oh yeah, that
gonna
was.
betray me.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
see,
scene
so-
was. Yeah, when I remember that scene when it was the present timeline Nebula and you know
The old
they were-
school Nebula.
right,
Yeah.
and then for her to actually project that, and then Thanos says, "Wait, show me everything.
Yeah. So
Show me
that,
everything that's to come."
That turned everything. So
Wow.
right
You got
there.
the theater screening bootleg copy.
Yeah.
Pretty much. He must have been watching.
bootleg
He must have been
copy.
watching the Filipino channel.
Yeah.
He was watching the Filipino channel. He goes, oh, so that's the plan. All right. So yeah. Well, with that being said, he took. Obviously, he's figured out the plan that the Avengers were doing.
And then they also lifted up her. No, they did get the other Nebula.
Yeah, they ended up capturing 2019 Nebula.
Right, and then taking the that serum from
Exactly,
her
to
head.
make it like she's
Yeah.
the 2019 version.
Yep.
But what's interesting about when we do see Thanos' 2014 version, he has his other daughter with him too.
Yep.
Can only be speaking about Gamora. So it's interesting at that point. You kind of feel, we think Gamora is already thinking that, okay, I got to prevent him from doing this. But are we also seeing her being reasoned by 2019 Nebula that we can't have Father do this?
Right.
See, are we? Because I was under the impression, maybe it still is, that Gamora the whole time knew to turn against Thanos, or somehow was waiting for a day. But I kind of got the feeling the 2014 version was like, okay, or the older version was like, wait, the plan is to be with Dad. We're supposed to get these stones, type of thing. I don't know. Maybe was it the present day Nebula that convinced this old one? I don't know. It starts.
It was the future Nebula.
Because
Yeah.
yourself, like, look within
Yeah,
you
look.
know that he's not right.
Right.
Okay, so all right, and then we'll get to
Yeah,
details later on of how we could loop back to that. So with that being said, they have that stone. Next stone that we see, I believe, getting picked up is the Soul Stone, and of course we see the Red Skull. Now, honestly, this was one of my predictions. I was thinking the Red Skull and Cap would somehow. They would butt heads somehow.
Yeah.
It's the Red Skull.
Yeah.
But he never touched Cap. There was nothing with Cap with him at all in these two movies. He basically tells them the same thing that we saw in Infinity War, that a soul for a soul.
That actually, I'm like, I actually went, oh, it got too heavy for me, and I already knew, like, oh, this is gonna turn out bad.
Yeah.
Because there's no way you can escape that condition. There's no way. There was no loophole or anything. It was just a straightforward soul for soul. And then you just had, you have Hawkeye and Black Widow there, and I was like, oh no.
It's one of us.
And then they actually battled each other. So
yeah,
it wouldn't be a
for it
person.
to be the and it was great how they both go, you know what? Okay, here's the plan, and it's like, no, you're not thinking the same thing I'm thinking. See, so they knew. They both knew, and it's like, well, I better do this first. I better do this. And what's interesting, they always bring up Budapest. This is worse than Budapest.
What happened in Budapest again?
Again,
They don't talk about it.
We haven't talked about it.
Okay.
And again, different podcasts.
Got it.
Probably for
I hope
future
they don't
show.
talk about it.
I think maybe a future movie, future show.
I hope they don't do that.
Budapest will be shown or mentioned. They've been harping at Budapest thing.
Yeah, I don't want them to show it though.
So I'm just saying.
All right.
So obviously these two are battling. Just to hear me say this, these two friends, they're like family members.
Oh, yeah.
Are battling each other. Who's going to be the one to die?
Yeah.
It just shows you how much they love and care about each other.
Right.
And well,
then when it was her just staying, and then she's like, "You have to let me go." And I think for him, he's like already lost his existing family.
Yeah, exactly.
And now here's his other family. He feels like, and so that to me was like even more of a devastating heartbreak.
Yeah.
But then for me, when I'm watching it, it's like I love Black Widow. She's like my hero and stuff. And then for her to actually fall, and then she landed the same way that Gamora did.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I got heavy. The rest, I'm still mourning. I'm
See?
still mourning.
See?
And I don't think it's right. We're not mourning enough for her.
I think you're right on that. I honestly agree.
I'm like, oh.
Okay. So speaking of which, let's touch back on
thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, that's a prayer.
Thoughts and prayers. Deepest condolences. Joc.
Yeah.
Deepest condolences.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Michael.
We touched on it a little bit earlier, and we talked about Professor Hulk needing to get the time stone from
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
we touched
ancient
on that.
one, which is great. I love the first thing you hear. He goes, "I'm looking for Stephen Strange," and she already knew the answer. She goes, you won't see him for 5 years, and he's
Right.
down. You'll find him at the hospital.
Right.
I love that. How, boom, and how we just finished
Yeah.
talking about how Hulk is explaining to the Ancient One how,
Right.
hey, we need this stone. There's a reason why. And the Ancient One goes, no. I'm the protector of this.
Right.
This is my job. And when Banner goes, well, Strange let Thanos have it, she immediately,
Right.
it just stopped. She goes, wait a minute. Yeah, and like you said, she was at first going, maybe I made a wrong decision.
She said, no, I'm the
But
one
then-
who made. She had the revelation. I'm the one
Yeah,
who made that mistake.
But again, she thought for a second, there has to be a reason why.
Right. There has to be a reason why he gave it.
So
what do you say?
that's-
He's the best of us. So
Yeah, and that's where she couldn't understand why he just gave it up so willingly. So she figured she trusted, after what she said, then she
Right.
trusts herself going, there's a reason why he did it. So she just goes, okay. And that convinced her to give it up to Professor Banner. So I think we have all the stones accounted for, right? There was
Except
two.
for
But since we
Tony.
lost the Tesseract, hold up. Since Loki's now walking around with the Tesseract from 2012, they need a Tesseract.
Right.
So these three, it's Lang, Stark, and Rogers.
Right.
They're
Tony.
figuring it out, going, well, there's one other place we can do this. And Lang's like, look, guys, only one return. That's it.
Right.
And they both looked at each other. Okay, let's do it. So they do a side trip, an unplanned trip to 1970. And the best part
Oh, that was
about
cool.
this scene is the guy who's driving by with the hot rod cheering. Letting folks know. And everybody cheered when they saw this guy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Please tell me you knew that was Stan Lee.
Oh, yes.
Stan Lee driving by with the rod just going, yeah, that was great. That was awesome.
My head was already about Tony's father.
Yeah, see, so here we go. So they go into the base where obviously Cap was born or created
Yep.
and trained, actually, trained and everything. So they go in there because they knew where the Tesseract was going to be in 1970. Now, again, I think we discussed this in Captain Marvel about the professor that she ended up working with.
Oh, yes.
They mention her, I believe, and how, it's her work, too, that's being involved with this Tesseract. So that's the question of how is the Tesseract in 1991 was kind of answered with a line, which was good, a little throwaway line. And what's interesting about this scene is you got to see Tony and Steve encounter people that are really significant in their lives.
Oh, yes.
So Steve, he didn't really see her or talk to her. He saw her.
He saw her through the window.
He saw her through the window and was like, wow,
Peggy, right?
There's Peggy right there. I'm sure he was tempted to say something, but he knew not to. So obviously, and then they got the Tesseract there and then shipped it off. The details on that we won't get into, but it was great how Tony Stark runs into Howard Stark. And they have a nice little conversation about things. And that was kind of good for him. It was kind of, again, we're going to talk about it at the end of our podcast here, but it was kind of a good closing for him with his relationship with his dad. Because if we saw Civil War, if we've seen previous things that Tony Stark had to deal with Howard Stark, this was kind of a nice, okay, Dad, I'm acknowledging you all those years you've been on me and stuff. I'm with you now. And they were like at the same level type of thing. See, so it wasn't like he was browbeating him and Tony was rebelling. No, they're both at the same level. They're colleagues kind of. So, and then what's cool, the little twist is, you guys see Jarvis?
Yep.
Yes.
Jarvis, who was in he was in the show with Peggy. He was her driver and everything.
Yes.
He took care of her. The name's Agent Carter. Yeah, Agent Carter.
Uh-huh.
So That was cool. Then that's what you mentioned it. You mentioned it too. The fact that they're pulling everybody, basically everybody you've seen for the most part in the Marvel world, the MCU, in this movie. Now Jarvis, we obviously heard his voice. Well, it wasn't necessarily that actor, but Jarvis, the character, was long established before. So that was great. Got to see Jarvis, and then now we're all back. Now we all come back, but then we have the Nebulas has been switched. Thanos figured out. Wait a minute, this isn't the right person. This is what they're doing. So and then Nebula, the old Nebula, evil Nebula, is trying to prove herself. So they come up with a plan. So she ends up going back. They're there. They got all the stones. So they're like, okay. They build a gauntlet. They're okay. Who's gonna do it? And everybody's trying to figure out who's gonna do it. But then they realize, well, it's got to be somebody strong.
But hold on.
Yes.
We have to make mention of my hero.
Please do.
Because when they came back, all of them. Where's Nat?
Yes.
And
see, already overlooking it.
No, I would never overlook her. No, you won't. Because to me that was heartbreaking. Because just before they went in the first time, she said, "All right, see you guys in a minute."
Yeah.
And that was her last line to them. She never came back. And then when they found out she didn't come back, they actually, there was a scene they were by the lake. And they were just like grieving. They were grieving because they lost her. She was one of their own, the only female of the group, and they lost her.
It was like, how many more people have to die? They felt that way. But
it was an ultimate sacrifice. That was an ultimate sacrifice. And then Cap's like, look, she did this because she wanted us to move on, and she wanted to do this. So it's like, we have to remember that it was Nat who actually sacrificed herself.
Exactly. And that's the thing about Cap. Cap's the guy who's been through war. Compared to all the characters, Cap's the one guy who's been, Rocket.
Thor's been in
some wars, but like losing comrades and things like that. Thor's lost his friends too.
Thor lost his
friends. Cap is the guy that, and he is the leader of the group.
Right.
And he's like, guys, we gotta forge on. We gotta keep going on. It's kind of a tough team. We gotta forge on.
Right.
So again, let's set it up. They built a new gauntlet. So
and it was Hulk who said, "Okay, let me try it because I also can deal with the gamma rays."
Yeah, see, they mentioned the gamma radiation. That's great, and he does it, and then we're like, "Okay, how did it happen?" He does snap. Now let's see. Well,
and then kind of like wait a little bit, but then when Ant-Man he walks outside, he starts seeing butterflies.
Yeah, he goes, "I think it worked."
And then the phones. That was cool though.
Yeah.
Because my heart went, because when Clint saw his phone was like, it was ringing or vibrating or something. And he went in there and saw her picture and he's like, hello, and he heard her voice. That was like so cool.
So you knew the snap worked. That brought everybody back. But just at that, the perfectly timed moment right there where you could get the feels going, boom. Here comes Thanos, the Mad Titan himself, comes in and he's like, no. I know where all these stones are. You made it easier for me, guys.
You're bringing them to me.
You got it for me. So
and everything got destroyed. Like, their headquarters, it all got destroyed. We got half of them. We got a few of them underwater, right? And so then there's that piece. But I have to say, though, when he shows up, and then, like, Nebula's like, he said, go out and go forth or whatever. Look for it. But, look for those stones, for that gauntlet. I have to say, when Iron Man walked out, and when he just walked out from the rubble or whatever, and then all of a sudden the whole Earth got dark and dim. It didn't look like Earth anymore.
Oh yeah,
right? It's like it's just everything dark and dim. And then there was Iron Man, and then Cap, and then Thor. He still looked like Thor, but the fact that they just walked out like he's here, it was like this anticipation, like Here we go. That was cool.
The thing about that, what's interesting about that is all three of them, see, this Thanos that came in has never seen these guys. But these three have seen him.
That's true.
And they're like, okay, first time we dueled, this is what happened. So they kind of are going into it with some experience. And it's like, look, you don't have the gauntlet on, so we're going to take you out now as much as we can.
The three of them.
Yeah, so they're doing their thing. They're working hard. and all of a sudden something we never thought we'd see happen. Cap's shield just basically got
that
destroyed.
Was destroyed.
It was destroyed. It looked like he was done.
I think the fact that with just that battle with the three of them, that was just so cool because it was just those three guys.
Yeah,
and this was Thanos saying, I'm going to take your world, I'm going to destroy it, and take everything in this universe or whatever. And for the fact that when they battled, he didn't have, and it was just his own existing power.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't have any stones.
Right, but the three of them like working together to just
they're pulling out all the stops. They had to. They just had to.
He just threw each person in every single
Went
corner.
Through every one of them, and then Cap's shield gets busted up, and then.
And you thought it was over, but then he hears something in his ear.
Yeah, he hears "on your left."
That was
awesome line. I love that line.
When you heard "on your left,"
that
was awesome. And here comes everybody. Everybody. So that snap did bring everybody back. So this is just awesome. They all came back. Just the sorcerers.
But that whole scene was amazing.
Oh, definitely. This is where I think you waited the 3 hours for. This is what you paid your money for. This is it. Back. Everybody's back. It's go time. He doesn't have the gauntlet. It's even matchup time. Let's go. You got your goons. Man. We got us.
They had everybody. And it was amazing because then all these portals started coming. And I was like, are there other people that we can't see who are still in there? We don't even know about. Yeah, that was so cool.
And with all these people coming in, somebody found himself worthy enough to get the hammer.
Oh, yeah.
And this was awesome. Got the hammer. Goes great. Thor goes, no.
Oh, I know.
No, you take the little one. I get the big
but also, you knew that moment. Didn't you also feel it like that moment when everyone's all there and you see Thanos' face as the Christian's
who are all these people? Yeah.
Because they just coming. And then that was the most coolest thing when Cap is in the front and he's just like,
he gets to say the line.
He gets to say the line. He says,
yes.
Oh my God, I love it. Avengers assemble.
And there it is. That's it. And here we go. It was just it took 10 years for it. We got teased with it, Avengers and end credit, but no. He said it, and here we go. All out battle. And this battle, and what was cool about the battle is you get to see the little mini reunions, everybody coming back. Hey, how you doing? You get to see
Spider-Man one.
Spider-Man coming back. You get to see
Mr. Stark.
Yeah.
Like we just showed up and
I love that hug that Tony gave.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's like, kid, you're back. And so you have and then you have Wasp coming back. That was great. You saw the Wasp fighting with him, and she's there with all the other heroes.
Oh, and awesome. Then they lost, because their headquarters got destroyed, so they don't have the portal. It's like, wait, we have one. We still have one. And all you hear, da 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 da.
Yeah, exactly. That was just awesome. See the van. That was just great. So
I was really hoping they have a Michael Pena.
I
kept saying that would have been hilarious.
I know, that would be great. That would have been great. And that's what we, again, you waited 11 years for this moment. You paid your money. You waited 3 hours for this moment. Everybody going, dueling. You got to see and here's a key scene. And again, my man's going to show all the love here. But obviously, they're running around with the gauntlet.
Oh, that
they have to keep the gauntlet away from Thanos.
Yeah.
And they got to find somebody worthy enough to use this thing. So they're running around. They're trying to figure it out. Then somehow, Spider-Man is holding on to this thing. And he's taking on people. And then here comes a bunch of people. Then suddenly, here comes Captain Marvel to save him. And not only Captain Marvel, but all the female characters.
Pepper Potts was even in the
mix. Pepper was there.
She was better than Captain Marvel.
She's like, hold on, I got
kid.
you.
Yeah.
Hold on, kid, I got you.
Here comes all the female strong characters coming in.
That was cool.
If you didn't pick that up, come on.
Yeah.
They were all female taking care of that. And Scarlet Witch, is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was so
she
powerful.
Is the one. Now, I know what Gio's going to say. She should be stronger than Captain Marvel the way things are looking right now. She was doing well against Thanos. Yeah. She was one-on-one.
And he wasn't handicapped this time.
But again, here we go. They're going at it. and the women have a big role in this. Is great.
It's funny how they were all in that same corner together.
Exactly. And I don't know. It's like the ladies be on this corner or something. I don't know. But it's awesome. You got to see, and then, Captain Marvel destroying ships. See? Come on.
Wait, that was cool when she came from
no
the sky.
love. No love. Come on.
It was cool when she came from the sky.
You get your own movie and all you do is punch a hole through his ship?
Hey,
Get out of here.
that's a lot of the dudes there. That's a lot of bad guys.
This is what I've learned. She can take a punch to the face. That's it. And then she got flicked off. I'm like, what? What? You overhyped character? You don't deserve your own movie.
Anyway, $450 million doesn't say that, but anyway.
Yeah, well, they have bad taste.
But anyways,
well, I'm glad she finally showed up because I was kind of irritated.
It was.
I was irritated. I was irritated before that point because I was irritated. Really, it's like, hey, they're fighting and all this stuff, and then everyone comes, Avenger assemble. It's like she's still not around. Why does she have to wait forever?
Doing her Ubers,
And so finally she shows up, and it's like, ta-da! It's like about time. That was my response. Like, about damn time.
You know what that is? You know what she is? That is the equivalent of being in high school. You're doing a group project. Everybody does the work, and she shows up and just puts her name on it. That's what you are.
No,
Captain
but
Marvel.
she brought something.
Yeah.
It's not like she just showed up.
She brought napkins to the barbecue.
She may have brought
getting her
napkins,
haircut,
but
okay?
if she brought napkins, it was much needed napkins.
She brought napkins.
See, you gotta realize
it was
that.
a family barbecue. She brought napkins.
You can tell we love Captain Marvel here on that side of the room. Anyway, so we're battling out, and so let's get to Captain Marvel. It looks like she's going one-on-one with the Great One. Anyway, one-on-one with Thanos. You think this is it? She's gonna beat him up. She's gonna get it. All right, we got it. What happens? So we'll let Geo describe what happens in this battle between
She gets
Thanos.
tossed, dude. Like, be gone, you little pathetic character. I'm like, yo, what? What? You got your own movie. You went at the first 10 minutes, and she was like, I'm the strongest person here. No, you're not. Maybe against a handicapped Thanos, who's like half dead already.
Okay, with that being in mind, since she got...
Look, because I got super juiced when I saw Scarlet Witch. She was such
she was holding her own.
I'm like, hell yeah, that was worth it.
She had a lot of motivation to destroy
she killed
him.
her. She killed her lab.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Scarlet Witch, personally, so far, we'll all agree Scarlet Witch is... we prefer her over Captain Marvel. So far. So I'm going to put the so far. My man in the corner's already voted her out. So anyway, since she got slapped around, as my man in the corner says, who comes in? Who comes in?
Black Panther?
No.
Well, we didn't mention Black Panther.
Well, Black Panther.
He fought.
He fought. He was there. His troops came in too.
Yeah.
Everybody you've seen through 10, 11 years showed up.
Oh,
if they had something significant to bring to the table,